And Donald Trump is standing firm on his assertion the United States is in charge of Venezuela after capturing Nicolas Maduro. Let's bring in former US Republican Congressman Wamp. Zach, thank you so much for joining us. You were one of Marco Rubio's chairmen in the 2016 presidential campaign. Tell us how competent Marco Rubio is, from your opinion.
Yeah, you and I have spoken before on this very channel that Senator Rubio was the most competent senator on foreign affairs and intelligence that we had in the United States Congress prior to becoming Secretary Rubio, the Secretary of State. President Trump has actually declared that he may be the most effective Secretary of State we've ever had. He is the most knowledgeable and engaged Latino in the U.S. government and in the Western Hemisphere, actually. And so this has been going on a while. He's watched what happened in Cuba. He was very involved with Hugo Chavez was in Venezuela, and now Maduro in Venezuela. He's seen the bad actors in the Western Hemisphere, and he and President Trump decided, after months, frankly, of giving plenty of time of Maduro to actually change his ways and turn himself in, basically, to go and get him. Because under international law, I think it's going to be completely validated that they have the right to bring a fugitive federally who's violated many, many U.S. laws to our country. You can't extradite him because he was the president of the country. He's not going to give you extradition for himself. So you have to go and get him. But I think Rubio's doing exactly the right thing. I think the whole Western Hemisphere will be better off by it. I think that's one reason why you see markets and confidence soaring in the United States today, is because they believe this is a positive thing, not a negative thing.
And Zach, talk us through some of the parallels from back in 1990 with the Bush administration, the Panama invasion. What parallels do you see here?
Well, I mean, it's very similar in the sense that Bush 41, President George H.W. Bush, went and got Noriega out of Panama, brought him to the United States, tried him here. I think he even died here in South Florida. But it's very similar. And I would think that the facts, based on what Eric Shawn just reported, are going to show that Maduro more grossly violated U.S. law than Noriega ever did. But Noriega was brought here, but that was at a time where there wasn't such division in our country. So you have some voices crying out that this is some kind of an overreach. But frankly, the Western Hemisphere is really important to all of us, and freedom and democracy should be promoted. And whether you're in Cuba or Colombia or Venezuela, if you're involved in narco terrorism and you are exporting millions and millions and $1 billion worth of drugs into the United States and expect to get away with it because you're saying that you're an innocent man, when in fact these facts, I think, are going to prove guilt way beyond the shadow of the doubt. And so, but it's very similar to Noriega in terms of what happened. But I think the facts will actually be worse for Maduro than they were for Noriega in 1990.
And Zach, how has the stock market responded?
Well, the stock market is soaring today, and usually you can tell if the United States confidence is shaken by one of Donald Trump's moves, because obviously he's unpredictable. Obviously, sometimes he's a bull in a china shop. I would say, though, this is where his audacity pairs up with Rubio's finesse. Rubio is by far and away the most effective person in this administration, in my opinion. And I think the president recognizes that. Rubio knows the Western Hemisphere in and out. He knows who the bad actors are and the good actors. And I think that people are responding positively in the marketplace and in our country, knowing that if we're ever going to compete with China, we have to stabilize the Western Hemisphere. We can't have drug deals all over the place by rogue actors in Central and South America. And as a result, this is a logical move that's probably long overdue. And it goes way back to when even Rubio's family and relatives in Cuba, there's been all kind of persecution and all kind of human rights violations. Hopefully this will be the beginning of a better way in the entire Western Hemisphere.
Zach, well, always appreciate your time and analysis. Thank you so much.